Come along with me for the first session of Feast of Esther 2025. The previous video I showed you how I got to camp, my arrival, and all the package I got from Momiju. Once I got to my in-laws' house, I decided to make some food, and I made some fried rice. I wanted to vlog the whole process of like all the cutting the vegetables and making the like stir frying the vegetables and all of that, but man, I just couldn't because of time. I was very pressed for time. I was rushing to meet up with the first session, and I really wanted to eat out of this fried rice. I didn't just want to make it, I also wanted to eat out of it. Luckily for me, it's my father-in-law's favorite food, so I'm happy that I was able to do this for daddy and of course mommy and everybody in the house. But yeah, I was rushing because at this time it was very close to the time to leave to go for the first session, and I was famished. My ride was already here, and I just had to get into the car like this, just had to get into the car, put my clothes on. I freshened up, put my clothes on, and I got into the car. That's the earring I was going to be wearing, and that's made by my brand. The outfit is made by my brand as well. Okay, so we're on our way. If you watched my Feast of Esther vlogs from 2024, you will understand why the rush. Look at these big buses, the school buses. They pick up women from their accommodation to the hall, and if you know anything about Feast of Esther, then you understand the fight for the seats. The seat fighting is a fight of the titans. So when I secured my seat, I came back to just do a little touch up. When you do your lips and your eyebrows, you're good to go. And so I was ready to get in the hall at this time, for real, right? And I went back inside, and it was just beautiful to see women very happy. Like, this is the largest gathering of founders' wives of general overseers, not just pastors' wives, and that's what makes Feast of Esther different. The greeters are always spot on point. When you get into the hall, the atmosphere is so beautiful, so colorful. Very colorful. Perfected praise singers were the ones who took praise. This was as Mom Gio was coming up to give her welcome address. Very emotional. Look at how colorful it was. So this was held at the youth center in Redemption City, and that's Mommy Gio just dancing as she came, and she was giving glory to God. We took this hymn, Head of the Church Triumphant, and I absolutely love it. It was the first talk, and he was welcomed by Sabrina Uzma, the very beautiful and charming Sabrina, and she welcomed Reverend J.P.A. Olaiya, and he gave the first talk, and it was about take heed to thyself, which is the theme, and he really talked about us ourselves as founders' wives of general overseers. And the highlight of it was when he made an altar call. People should come out, if you were hurting, if you had people you had not forgiven. And guys, it was emotional, very emotional, and I know that there was healing in the house that night. When we were done, it was time to go for dinner, and because of the crowd and the whole pushing thing, usually at Feast of Esther, I don't like to push in the crowd. I just stay back and dance. I decided that I'm going to post my dance videos separately because they're just the content on their own, and to make this video too long. So I danced and it was time to go for dinner. Remember those big buses from earlier? So there are a lot of them, and they convey the women from the hall to the dining hall. And when you get to the dining hall, you have your voucher, like a meal voucher. I showed you earlier in the previous video. So they tear out that particular meal. So this was dinner for day one. I like the excellence, Mommy Jo insists on when it comes to serving us. I had some rice. You can have 3 scoops of rice, but I just wanted 2 because I'd eaten fried rice earlier. This is Pastor Esther Oluwole. I like to call her Mommy Prophet because her husband's a prophet. And she's also a general overseer's wife. We decided to have dinner together, and yeah, I was thinking about the taste and thinking about my fried rice at the same time, but it was fine. The coleslaw made me enjoy it, and the meat was very tender, extremely tender, and I love that. But of course, I had to taste her food as well. I'm not really a big swallow fan. Like, if the soup is not giving, if I cannot vouch for that soup as then I'll always go for rice, because you cannot go wrong with rice. So after this, it was time to go back home, and that was the end of the first session. See you tomorrow.